But first, two staff members with Medina Valley Independent School District both failed their drug tests. Now, one says that she was forced to resign, but the other not only kept his job, but was also promoted. And in this Defenders Update, the night team's Dylan Collier uncovers the apparent preferential treatment that was offered to Athletic Director Lee Crisp and the frenzied fallout that it's now causing.
Months after community members signed this letter detailing concerns about Medina Valley Independent School District Athletic Director and head football coach Lee Crisp, he still has the backing of leadership. Allegations against Crisp include that he has appeared to be under the influence at school functions, that last fall he refused to allow a player to ride home with the team following a game in Lockhart, forcing the teenager to catch his own ride for the 90-mile trip, and that Crisp made fun of another player's speech impediment in back-to-back practices. What's not in dispute, the district personnel paperwork of Crisp, which shows he admitted to failing a state drug test tied to his commercial driver's license after taking medication without a prescription.
The physical was where he had popped dirty.
Meet Richard Broom. He was Medina Valley ISD's transportation director at the time of Crisp's failed test and said the coach showed up at his office pleading his case and later admitted to illegally getting prescription meds from a family member, putting his CDL and school bus endorsements in peril.
This isn't something that I can just be okay with. Like, the test is there. I can't hide that.
Broom says he was later informed by administration that Crisp would be kept on and was given a probationary period to clean up his act, even though he had violated what Broom believed was a zero-tolerance policy on drugs in the workplace. Crisp, who did not respond to multiple requests from the defenders seeking comment for this story, not only stayed employed, he was promoted to athletic director and head football coach.
Are you surprised that an exception was made for Crisp?
Not for a coach, no.
Sources say Crisp no longer drives athletes to and from competitions, but compare his professional fate to that of another MVISD employee who drove buses. She told the defenders off camera she failed the same type of TxDOT drug screening in 2016 after marijuana she used had not left her system. The woman, who had worked for Medina Valley for well over a decade, says she resigned in lieu of being terminated and understands the district had no choice but to cut ties with her, describing the responsibility of driving children as, quote, "It's an important task you have."
The apparent favoritism shown towards Crisp has driven a wedge in this community. On one side, people who want the coach fired. On the other, those who have called it a witch hunt.
As with most life lessons, we did not expect the scrutiny to come in such a vicious form.
A district board meeting last month can best be described as tense, as Crisp supporters and adversaries aired their grievances about the ongoing dispute and an investigation of Crisp that resulted in him being returned to work.
Coach has bullied my son openly in front of offensive coaches and players. But in your investigation, you did not interview all of the offensive football players who witnessed it.
Adding fuel to the fire, this letter sent to the district's board last week by its longtime facilities director, who asked, quote, "How do you possibly tell kids Medina Valley ISD's policy is one of anti-drugs?" The school board just promoted and accepted the use of drugs as acceptable behavior.
Well, let's find a solution. Let's get a neutral third party to handle an investigation, a correct investigation. And if everybody finds that we're lying, then we're lying and we're wrong. But what if we find that it happened?
For the defenders, Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
Now, district officials said that the female employee in question wasn't forced to resign, but was instead allowed to resign, citing health reasons. Now, KSAT asked to interview Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Rohrbach several times, but we were denied.